Hello, it's lovely to connect with you today. My name is Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am here to pull some cards, yay, and share some guidance for this week ahead. That's this week starting Wednesday the 12th of April through till Tuesday the 18th of April 2023. So while you're coming over and hopefully being notified, Facebook, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. You help me to be able to keep being here, and I'm very, very grateful. So thank you so much. I'm coming to you live now from Tasmania, Australia. It is a beautiful autumn's day again. The sun is shining, it's quite warm, and it is Wednesday the 12th of April here, and it's exactly 10:11 a.m. So welcome. If you're new to watching, welcome. Hi Anita, hi Pamela, lovely to see you. If you are new to watching, welcome. Let us know if you are new so we can welcome you in the comments. For new people, just so you know, I'm not pulling cards for individuals today or in any of my videos. I'm here to pull cards for us all. So this is general guidance for everyone. I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that you're open to receiving what you need at this time. Sometimes what we need is different to what we want. So keep that in mind too. I want this, or I need that, or I need this, I need that. They can be different, and it can be very interesting to actually ask ourselves, what do we need in this situation and what do we want in this situation? Do they match up or do they contradict each other? So it can be very interesting. So I'm going to be using my favourite Oracle deck of cards, which I created. It's the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards that I've combined with my Speed of Light Oracle cards. These have been combined to create a 110 card deck. And I'll be using this combined deck to find the cards for this week ahead. So let's get started. Before we focus our intention on this coming week, just a recap on last week's theme card, which was the turtle. The turtle reminding us to be slow and steady, or find our steady pace. Did you find yourself, as best as you could, finding your steady pace last week, or pacing yourself with things that you needed to do instead of doing things to hypo? To hypo this or hypo that. Did you find yourself naturally finding a bit of a steady rhythm last week? That was our theme. So I'm now turning our attention to the new week, new reading week. Welcome everyone. Hi Janice, hi Jasmine. I'm looking for the best cards for the majority of us for the week starting Wednesday the 12th of April through to Tuesday the 18th of April 2023. I trust my cards 100%, and I trust the best cards that we need for this week will find their way to the top of the deck based on the way I choose my cards. So the best cards for this week for the majority of us, 12th to the 18th of April 2023, are these here. And I'm going to lay them face down here next to me, and then I'll turn them over and we'll see what we've got. Looks like everyone's here today. Hi Kelly from New Zealand, and Laurie's here. Welcome. All right, let's do, what are we going to do? We'll do 4 at the top, 3 at the bottom. Okay, so we have 5 Animal Kingdom, 2 Speed of Light. That's got to be a gentler energy than having all speed. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Oh, we have a dragon, guys. We have a dragon. Which dragon is it? Give me your dragon guesses. So if you're new to watching, it's one of the elements. So earth, air, fire, water, or spirit dragon. Which dragon is it? It's going to be the last thing I share because it's the last card in this group. But just overall looking at this, there is a gentler, like the energy is becoming even gentler. So there was an intense whipped up energy for February and April. February and March. And as we moved into April, as we got past that initial beginning of April, things have been sort of settling. Last week was more about shifting and settling. Shifting meaning change, and things still kind of a bit unsettled, but things starting to settle last week. And then looking at these cards and basically what I've connected in with the current energy report today is a more of a settling, less shifting, so less change and more settling down now. So we start the reading week, Wednesday the 12th of April, with this card. It's card 52, the koala. It is a featured card. It has further instructions here which aren't asking us to pull another card. It just says to meditate, reflect and ponder. So that's bringing a slow, sort of withdrawn, sort of introspective sort of energy as well. Down here it says ponder, slow, quiet, grandfather and wait. So this is a slowing down, it's a pondering things, it's probably moving slowly as well, potentially, or moving slower than we would probably usually move. There is a contemplative energy to this card as well, where we might not only, maybe some of us need to rest or to heal or to mend or catch up on sleep, if we've been not sleeping that well for quite some time. But also a time of just sort of sitting in thought and really considering things, what we're dealing with at this time. And, you know, the power of thought and contemplation is powerful. It's when our lower mind takes over and we're filled with worry and stress and ridiculous, useless thoughts that just keep circulating around in our mind. That's when our mind is not really working with us. So our mind can be our biggest asset, or it could be our biggest, or ally, it could be our biggest enemy as well. So our lower mind can pull us down, but when we've got our lower mind out of the way and we're not so stressed out and we're not so worried and have these ridiculous thoughts that just keep flowing around in our mind, when we stop and listen to them and we're like, why am I thinking that thought? It's just ridiculous. When we can get back in charge of our thoughts and kick those unwanted, unnecessary thoughts out, and we kick them out and we step in charge, we step into the driver's seat of our life, and it allows our higher mind to step up into position as well, so that our mind can work with us. So on Wednesday especially, and at this time, we're being encouraged to really consider the state of our mind. Hopefully you've been working on clearing, getting back in charge of your thoughts in recent days or weeks. If you haven't, then I would make that high top priority for sure. Because on Wednesday, the energy of contemplation and really assessing and considering things seems to be quite strong. So what do you need to contemplate? What do you need to consider on Wednesday? You might not know what you're going to determine yet, because that's why we contemplate and that's why we invest thought in things, so that we can work things out. So we might not know what we're going to do yet in regards to this, but what is it that needs further thought? What needs further investigation that we can consider and think about? But a general slow energy, a general quiet energy around for Wednesday. And then we move into Thursday, the 13th of April, and we have the crocodile, card 5. The crocodile says to stand in your survival power. Stand in your survival power. So first of all, it's reminding those of us who need to know that we are survivors and that we're going to get through the tough times that we may be going through now, that we're going to survive those. So let's keep that in mind if that's important to us. But I mean, for me right now, survival's just not enough. I mean, I'm very grateful that my survival needs are good right now. Like, they're taken care of. I'm in good health. I have food to eat. I've got a roof over my head. I'm feeling good on the survival front. So that's something to definitely appreciate, because we all know what it's like not to have that. And if you're in that space now, sending you lots of love, and I do trust that you get your survival needs taken care of. But for me now, because my survival needs are okay, they're good right now, I can focus on doing more than just surviving. I want to create something with my life. I want to create purpose and meaning. It's very hard if you're dealing with health issues or you're struggling to get food on the table and just to eat today. Then we're not going to be able to think much more than our survival. So if that's taken care of for you, then what can you do to elevate your life and take it to the next level? Have you been perhaps taking those things about your life for granted? Maybe becoming a bit lazy because there's too much effort and maybe not feeling much motivation to put effort into making more out of our lives. So I just feel something wants to fire up in us. And if you're struggling to survive, maybe a fire too inside to sort those survival things out, to get back in charge of those survival things as best as you can, might be really important. So stand in your survival power on Thursday. Now, Friday, the 14th of April, we have the Lotus Heart, card 22. And it says, Om Mantra, meditate, reconnect. Om Mantra, meditate, reconnect, and peace. This is peace in our hearts. So I talked before about our mind and finding time, making time to contemplate, consider what's going on for us at this time and how we can sort things out. Maybe also considering finding or how we could find a solution to problems that we may be facing at this time, and using our mind to help us do that and considering and contemplating things, really thinking things through. This card's almost like the same sort of energy, but for the heart. So this is about a reconnection with our heart and finding peace in our heart. So what are you currently feeling in your heart? What are you dealing with there? Have you cut your heart out or cut it away or shut it away to try and protect yourself? Maybe you've been full of emotion, so you're feeling quite awash with feeling, and your heart's perhaps feeling a bit raw and sensitive and vulnerable and mushy at this time. Maybe you've not really been connecting with your heart lately, so maybe you've been a bit cold in some ways, or a bit focused on other things that you haven't really been giving consideration to the state of your heart. So on Friday, there's potentially an opportunity for us to sit into this energy of our heart. And it feels like it comes through almost like that, getting into that mental state. So getting back in charge of our thoughts, like I mentioned before, helps put the lower thoughts out of being at the forefront of our mind for the most part. So then we can tap into our higher mind and connect into thought, welcome new ideas, this sort of thing. So that feels to me like a bit of a doorway or a gateway that potentially opens up energy that wants to come down through from the universe, but down through our mind and down into our hearts. So the key is in the mind. So if we're stressed out and worried and we're not in charge of our thoughts and we've got all these ridiculous thoughts rolling around in our monkey mind, we may not feel this depth that wants to come into our heart and this peace that wants to sit in our heart, especially around Friday. So if we can make priority, if we're not feeling it yet, if we can make priority getting back in charge of our thoughts, like immediately, like as soon as possible, then that feels like it will open the gate to let the energy come down and sit in our heart, where we pull down into our hearts and reconnect with what's really truly important to our heart, and not what we're stressed and worried about and what we're scared of and what we're being told by external forces that's bringing our energy down. That's not opening our heart. So if we can put all that stuff aside and really focus on the things that are important, the things that are priority, the things that we can do something about in our life today or start taking steps today, then that potentially opens us up to drop into our heart further and to really connect with the things that are important to us, truly important. Is that thing that you're worried about really that important in the grand scheme of things to you personally? in your life. Yes, it's something that you're struggling with now that's going to impact your life, then yes, that's something to give consideration to and trying to work out. But if you're worried and stressed about something that might happen in 5 or 50 years' time that's not really in the scope or the environment of your life right now, is it something really that needs to be consuming your energy and consuming your mind and consuming your heart and consuming your time? Because time is so very precious. And we're never going to get those moments back, or the minutes and hours and days and weeks and months and years we spend worrying and stressing about something that most likely won't even happen. So let's just keep perspective and stay in charge of our thoughts and using that as a way into our heart and into ourselves. I can't really emphasize enough how important it is to get back in charge of our thoughts and really make that priority. And those of us who feel that way, where we are in charge of our thoughts, then we will probably connect with this energy sooner. So I think top priority is the feeling. Now, this is really interesting. Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to link these cards together, because when I actually created the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, I was seriously considering about tying these cards together somehow. And they really come up together, and they've come up side by side. And that is the doe and the stag. And I really see these as a pair. So they've found their way together in the deck. And I find that really exciting. And it's for Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and the 16th. And we're going to combine these together. So we're looking at relationships to begin with. Relationships under the spotlight or of importance. Connections with other people over the weekend, especially one-on-one time, a one-on-one time with our closest relationships, to people we may just meet on the weekend, but there is some connection there and something nourishing, something that, that humanity element that is so important for us to connect with and remember, especially coming out of all that COVID lockdown stuff. It's good to come out the other side and finally, have masks off and be connecting with each other again, because that distance, that barrier that we had before felt so unnatural to me personally. So bringing that energy together and bringing ourselves together again is certainly highlighted this weekend. But let's look at the doe first. The doe is card 41, and she says to feel deeply. There is potential depth of feeling. This is that divine, true feminine energy that's coming in, this deep sense of feeling and deep sense of connection with ourselves and how we feel and our emotions, and letting our emotions be in motion and move through as we flow. So feeling deeply as we connect, feeling deeply as we live, feeling deeply as we move through our life. And paying really close attention, especially these big ears, is about listening and paying sharp attention, not only to how we feel and the flow or the lack of flow we might be feeling in our life, but also paying attention to our connections with other people this weekend. And it comes up with the stag. So the stag is card 42. This is like that true divine masculine energy. And it says a new direction. So this is showing that there's a new path that wants to reveal itself, and it probably has already revealed to some of us. Or it may be revealing or starting to reveal itself over the weekend. And it sort of feels like something, like a path that's sort of pixelated or a bit fuzzy, and it hasn't really come into full view or full form yet, where we can't quite make out what it is. It's a bit of a fuzzy something that's coming. And it's like the path, the pixelated fuzzy path, is starting to reveal its form or reveal itself, like a picture on the computer that's all fuzzy, and then suddenly it comes into clarity and into the picture that we can see. So it feels like something this weekend we might have on the tip of our tongue, or just almost in our grasp, something that's preparing to take form. And we might feel a bit of anxiety or a bit of excitement about something that's potentially coming, something to look forward to, something that we may even organize on the weekend in some way, maybe with other people, for the future, maybe for the weeks or months to come, that we can look forward to. So there is something that wants to come into form, and it's pulling us in a new direction or opening up a new experience for us. So that's the weekend, and this feels really good for the weekend as well. Now we move to Monday, the 17th of April, and it's card 2, the butterfly, and the butterfly simply says joy. Joy, simplicity, transformation, things coming together is also the feeling here. I like that word together at the moment, and working together, coming together, just this togetherness energy. So this feels to be sort of highlighted here too with this card. There's an uplifting feeling with this, and it's like a clear blue day, sunny day after a period of storm. So things are shifting. Hope is renewed as well. Renewed hope here for Monday. So things that felt like they weren't going to work out, by the time we get to Monday, there is potentially a new sense of hope that emerges from us, a glimmer of hope, a spark of hope. That's a good thing. And then hopefully that little spark of hope expands into something more than just hope. Maybe something that, actually, I think this might work out. I really think it might. There's something, a revival of sorts coming up for Monday. And then Tuesday we have our dragon. So I don't know which dragon you guessed, but we have the water dragon. With the water dragon for Tuesday, the 18th of April, and it's card 24. It says diving into new depths. So this is the water element. It's connected with emotion. It's connected with creativity. It's connected with sexual energy as well. And it's encouraging us to drop deeply into ourselves, deeply into this oceanic realm within us, deeper into our true feminine energy that we all possess. Doesn't matter what gender we are all possess that feminine, masculine energy, and it's already coming up this week, and there is a depth of feeling. This depth energy of the feminine, the divine feminine, is calling us into ourselves to connect deeper with who we are, to find out who we are. If we don't know who we are yet, then that's certainly somewhere to start. But, I really feel the gateway to this is through getting back in charge of our thoughts and dropping into our heart. That opens up will also then take us even further down through our body, through the heart, through the solar plexus, just above the navel, down to the sacral chakra, which is below the navel. And this is our emotional center. This is basically for me where I feel my inner oceanic realm sits, and it's infinite, this deep, deep ocean inside me. And it's somewhere where I'm actually really thirsty, and thirsty is probably not the best word. I'm really enticed by this depth and this pull and the mystery inside myself for me to uncover and explore and get to know. And that is part of this dragon energy that calls us even deeper down into ourselves, deeper than our heart, deep down into our subconscious, into the mysterious, dark, inner parts of ourselves that we haven't even discovered yet. The potential, the opportunity in there, the potential of connection. So we're being called deep into ourselves, and this can only nourish our relationships and our life itself. So finding depth in life starts with finding depth in ourselves. If we want to have deeper and more meaningful relationships, and we need to start by having a deeper, more meaningful relationship with ourselves. And when we do that, then it allows our relationships to move to deeper levels, because we're in a deeper state. And it allows us to connect more deeply with our life, to create more meaning and purpose that's more meaningful, where we're not just scratching the surface in a superficial way anymore, where we're actually going under the surface of our path. If our life's path travels across the surface of the earth, and we might be just going through the motions, we're living our life's path, what's wrong with that? Well, nothing. But for someone like me, I need more than that. So I want to drop under that path that's on the surface. I want to drop under, and I want to find like my underground current, my underground river, and I want to travel through that as my life's path. and I want to drink it up. I want to soak it in. I want to get to know myself. I want to challenge myself in those depths of my life's path. So that's the sort of difference what I'm talking about or trying to explain. But it's more than just words, it's feeling. So it's a bit hard to explain in words, but I hope you're connecting with it even a little bit. But, it's something deeper that calls us, a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose, a deeper sense of awareness. But it starts with ourselves, and that's what this week feels to be about. So if we can get our lower thoughts out of the driver's seat of our life, and we step into the driver's seat now, and we start choosing the thoughts we think, and we start using our mind to work with us, to help us figure things out and learn new skills and bring new ideas in. If we can do that, then that gives us access to our heart, gives us access to a deeper sense of connection and understanding and thirst or hunger or enticement for the depths of our being, into the deep parts of life. So like this dragon, the dragon's playing around here in the surface, but the dragon wants to go under. It wants to go inward. It wants to drop into itself. So don't be afraid of yourself and your own power, your own potential. Connect with it as best as you can. Get to know it. Find out what it is so that you can make the most of your life and the precious moments that life is. Because every precious moment that passes is one less precious moment we have to connect deeper in with our life and ourself and in our relationships. So this feels to be deep, potentially this week, if we can only get our stresses and worries and unnecessary thoughts out of the way. If we don't, they will just stay at the forefront, and we might have quite a stressful, worried week again. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to take charge of your thoughts. It takes time. It does take a little bit of time, but it's not impossible. Absolutely not impossible. So use a bit of self-control, a bit of awareness, pay attention, listen to what's going on in your mind. Are these thoughts that you're happy to be thinking? Are you happy to be thinking that thought of whatever it is that's happening in your mind? Yes, no. No, kick it out. Yes, keep it. That's what I determine when I'm sorting out my thoughts. And I literally show the thoughts I don't want to be thinking. That's not a healthy and supportive thought for me. I'm not interested in thinking it. I literally show that thought the door, and I march over to my front door. I open the door and I banish that thought out. I kick it out of my head. I close the door behind me. Almost instantly, the thought will come back. That's okay. I'm at the door. I don't even have to walk over. I can throw it out again. You only have to do it a couple of times. Really show your mind who's boss, who's in charge. And before too long, you'll be back in charge of your thoughts again. I'll tell you, you won't be looking back. It's one of the most empowering things that you can do. But you need to be aware of and really pay attention to what is happening in your mind so that you can choose whether it's supportive and healthy or not. And then take the action steps you need to take to shift that. So thank you. There are our cards for this week. I am going to pull a theme card in just a moment, so I'm very interested to see that, as usual. So we'll do that in a moment. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment. Please share if you're inspired to. If you would like to connect more personally and privately, please send us a message through our website. And please hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Temple of Balance on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button there, where I'm told that you are notified of videos when they come up. Yes. And if you're watching on Facebook, please hit the follow button. If you're new to watching, please come back and watch again. And if you're not new, please come back and watch again, and have a great week ahead. So this week coming up, I do have my online art class and my card reading club. We're going to be exploring the cards like we do each month. So they're coming up on Friday, both online, both on Zoom. You're very welcome to join in if you want to. So you can learn more about my online card reading club and my online art class on my website, templeofbalance.com.au. Also on Saturday, finally, after over a year, I'm having my next ceramics online shop drop. So I've got some new ceramics that are coming, cups, earrings. I'm just like obsessed making earrings right now, porcelain earrings, and I've learned how to goldsmith, so I've actually made all the hooks and everything myself out of sterling silver. So I'm so excited about that. I've got some earrings and cups and chalice and jars and all sorts of things that are going to be dropped onto my ceramics website on Saturday. That's leannepeters.com is my ceramics website. So keep an eye out for those things. I'll share throughout the week as well. Please check out my website if you want to learn more about the work I do. Grab yourself some cards and all that sort of stuff. So our theme card is what I'm looking for now. Our theme card will help bring this whole week together and help us see the bigger picture for this week, 12th to the 18th of April. So definitely depth, getting back in charge of our thoughts. For the most part, that they seem to be the theme energies that I've already tapped into. So let's see what this card wants to add. The best card for our theme for the 12th to the 18th of April is this. It's another Animal Kingdom Oracle card. And it's this. It's the Honeybee. The Honeybee card 32. The Honeybee says to take a short break. So if you need to take a break, then this is certainly your sign to consider or apply, put into action, taking a break. Now, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, overwhelm is a sure sign that we need a break. If you're on the verge of overwhelm, take a break before overwhelm hits. So overwhelm has hit, then certainly consider quite urgently taking a break to get to reconnect, to get back in touch with yourself and to shift your perspective. Is really important. Now, if you're doing okay and you don't need a break like me, then this card's also about being efficient and looking for the most efficient way to do things. So the most efficient way physically to do things, the most efficient way to also connect. Let's try not to go around all these different spiral, circular paths to get to the place we want to go. Let's look for the most efficient way to get to where we're going so that we can make the most of this precious time that we have. So if you can hold off running an errand for a few hours or a day or so you can do more things at that one time so it's more efficient for you, then work with that. See if you can really think this week about being more efficient with how you spend your time, how you run your errands and how you do things this week. And you might find that you have a little bit more time up your sleeve. And if we can have a bit more time up our sleeves, then we can do amazing things with that. Even 30 minutes a day. We could spend that 30 minutes exercising, meditating, creating something, journal writing, catching up on a little bit of sleep, cooking ourselves a nice meal, doing something that we've wanted to do that we haven't had the time to do for a while. So if we can save 30 minutes in a day by just being a little bit more efficient with how we spend our time, then that is valuable. So let's see if we can work with time this week, especially as we get in charge of our thoughts, because time goes quickly when we're stressed and we're worried and we're scared and we've got all these ridiculous thoughts rattling around in our head. Time also speeds along so fast. So before we know it, days are over, weeks are over, months are over, years are over. And then where's the time gone? So if we can get back in charge of our thoughts, we also get back in charge of how we spend our time and how we work with time. And then a moment is pulled out because it's not filled with stress and drama. So if our moment is not filled with stress and drama, then that moment can be filled with the spark of a new idea or learning a new skill or doing something that's much more beneficial and productive on a personal level. So maybe give some thought to that if it's important, and if that's an incentive for you to really get back in charge of your thoughts, then great. But yes, exciting. A nice efficient week. Let's make it efficient. Thanks so much. Have a great week. I look forward to connecting with those of you joining me for the online club, card reading club and online art class on Friday. And if not, I'll probably see you again next week for the weekly guidance. Take care of yourself. Have a fantastic week. Let's work with this energy. And I'll see you soon. Bye.